Hi, good morning. Welcome to day 2 of tarot combos where we pull 2 cards to see how the energies interact. So what's here with us today? We have the Queen of Swords. Yesterday we got all swords. That's interesting. And the Nine of Pentacles. So we have the Queen of Swords crossed by or challenged by the Nine of Pentacles. This feels like a tension between our head, like air, mind energy, and earthy, grounded energy. So it could be a little tug of war. The Queen of Swords, this artwork is always fun on this deck. There's a giant eyeball. So there's something about with her seeing clearly. She has the ability to see clearly. She rules in the way that is very like receptive, but she has an air about her that's like questions. She's a little bit of a skeptic, I guess is what I want to say. So that's how she gets her, I think, ability to see clearly. Is she's always like really, I shouldn't say this, is just how I feel about it, but she questions people's intentions in order to see how they're showing up clearly, and then she questions her own mind to see things clearly. But she's also with queens. They are a water element, so she does have the ability to feel. She's not all mind. It's just that tends to be where she derives her sense of empowerment. And so then we have crossed by the Nine of Pentacles. This is, it's interesting here that he has no head. It's like a wisp of smoke. That's interesting because she's like all up in her head and he's like got no head, but he's very firmly seated, planted on the ground. He's actually near water too, which is interesting for Pentacles. I don't think I noticed that before in this artwork. But the Nine of Pentacles is, I would say, very satisfied, where she's kind of always outward looking and discerning, and he's like, he obviously has no head. He's like, everything's fine here. I'm firmly planted on the ground. I'm very satisfied with where I am in life in general. Because the nines, it has this like air of satisfaction to it, or contentment. And so she's very like, I don't know, there's a little unease or unsettledness about her sometimes, but it keeps, that's her like, she might call it her superpower, where it keeps her on her, she's on her toes, like always alert, always discerning. And he's like, I have no need for my mind. I am at ease. And so how are these energies, they kind of feel like opposites in a way, which is, I think, fascinating because they're challenging each other. So how do these opposing energies show up for you? Where it's like there's this tug of war between trying to be present without all the thought chaos going on, and then but also being very clear-headed and discerning for like what's coming at you, and so you can make the right decisions, you know, from a very clear headspace. Because she's very like, the queens also have a lot of power. They are empowered. They sit in their power. So it's not like she's some, you know, wishy-washy, doesn't know what to think person. So she's always like skeptical. It's like, no, she's like, is this in alignment with what I think? So she's very discerning. And he's like, maybe not discerning, but more like from a place of like how you feel in nature. Not like an emotional feeling, but just sort of like, how does my body feel versus what's my head all doing up there? So these show up. I'm trying to think how this would show up for me today, you know, because I want you to think about how it's showing up for you. This tug feels like a little bit of a tug of war between contentment satisfaction, grounded relaxation, being at ease in your body, in the day, wherever you're going, whoever you're meeting. There's not this, just very at ease versus like, okay, get your head on straight. We gotta be very discerning. We gotta think like very logically, very clearly. It's all about being up in the mind, and it's not a bad thing. You might have this at work, you might need this at work, and then struggle to come down from your day at the end of the day. I've felt that over the years, especially working in the business world, traveling for business, and it's like you feel like you're always on. I felt like I was always her, just like being logical and like, very trying to have a very clear mind and to be a leader. And here it's like, I don't want to be a leader and I don't want to be led. I'm just like at ease in my body. And that's where I derive my sense of peace. So for me, I'm less and less this person these days. So I kind of notice when I get into that mode of trying to think things through versus feel things through. And I definitely need to get out in nature more to just like feel that earthiness. I told my husband yesterday, and our oldest, I was like, in 2026, I think it was yesterday. I keep thinking yesterday was Sunday. Today's Friday. So on New Year's Day, I was just sort of like talking to them about the new year. And I was like, you know what I want to do in 2026? And they're like, what? I said, I want to dig more holes. I'm like, what? So I was talking to my husband. I'm like, do you care where in the backyard I just go dig some holes that won't be a nuisance to you or tear up the backyard too much? And they were just laughing. I'm like, no, for real. I want to dig a hole. I want to put my hands in the dirt. I want to feel it. And I just want to dig a hole. And then I want to go put that dirt back in that hole and dig another hole and just move that dirt back and forth. And I said, that's all I want to do in 2026. And I just find it just a funny thought, but I really do want to touch more nature. So maybe I'm still struggling to come down from this, to have more balance to be more this. And so, yeah, definitely I felt this in the past, and I really want to be on the earth. It's really calling to me this year. It's like, dig some holes to feel that earth energy. So it's not all like she's bad. She has a lot of really admirable qualities that we can adopt, which is, like discernment, I think, is actually a very good thing in a world where it like, and I think about social media because in real life, I honestly don't feel that people are out to take advantage or co-opt my eyeballs for dollars, like I just don't feel that in my person-to-person interactions. But where I do feel this need to embody more of her characteristics is in social media, online advertising, the things I can't seem to filter out oftentimes. So I have to be very discerning with like, okay, my eyeballs are taking this in, like be very discerning, and then also I skip every single ad on YouTube. And so I turn off my ears. I'm trying not to let the jingliness, the first 5 seconds before you can skip, to get in my brain. So that's where I feel like I'm embodying that discernment, is like there's certain things that are gonna get in, and I have to not like they're gonna be in my awareness. So I have to really think like, is this for me or not for me? Is this useful to me? Does this feed my soul? Does it distract from what I really want to be doing? Whatever is coming at me from the outside, that's where I feel like I'm trying to embody more of her characteristics that are like, hold on, Sunny. I am an individual with my own thoughts about things. I'm not just going to go along with any trend. And now I'm at an age where I get very skeptical of fads. I see fads for what they are because now I've been around enough decades. I finally reached a point where I'm like, oh, that's coming around again. Okay. I remember the first time, so I'm grateful for that. And then here's where I'm really trying to have a smoke head, just like turn off the brain and dig some holes. So how is that showing up for you? And where do you feel like you could use more of her? Where do you feel like you have a little too much of her? Where this is kind of this challenge thought is like challenging us to ground down that thought energy into our body and like nature, at ease, peace, nervous system regulation. See how he's like, even his hands are on I say his, but I don't know, his, hers, whatever, like hands even touching, feet touching the ground, and there's a fish flying. It's like things are upside down. I don't know what that means, but maybe it's asking us to question our assumptions about what nature, like what we need in order to feel grounded. For me, yeah, I love touching dirt. I love getting dirty. I love getting dirty and messy. So to me, that has a very grounding quality. It's almost like being a kid again, where you don't have too many worries and not everything has to look perfect or be perfect, in any moment. And that puts me into a state of ease and nervous system regulation. Like, I can just be, not perform or whatever, So that's it. Thanks.